Welcome to the video, guys. In this video I'm going to be speaking about how to replace the brake shoes and the wheel cylinders in your rear brakes. Now, if you were wondering how to get off a stubborn brake drum, I have done a video on this and that's why this is already removed. That will be already posted on my channel if you want to go and check that out. But on this one I'm just going to be speaking about the actual removal and installation procedure in these components. So the first thing we need to look at is what we have to remove. So the breakdown is, these are the retaining clips. See these here? That actually is a retaining clip in there, if I can focus in. So it's a spring clip that releases, and that's a pin. Same on that side, both of them need to be removed. That holds this shoe. They hold these shoes back in place against the backing plate and keep it nice and secure. Up here is the adjustment. So right there is the threaded adjustment, and this here is the actual automatic adjustment that happens off this wheel here. So we will be backing off that adjustment to make it easier to release these springs. So you have a spring up at the top here, you also have a spring at the bottom, and then you have a handbrake cable that needs to be released also. It's always a good idea to take a picture before you remove anything. That way you know exactly what spring goes where and which direction it is, and even with this you don't get it faced the wrong way around, and it makes it a lot easier for yourself. If you haven't the option to do that, never remove the opposite side before you have this one built back up again. That will mean if you run into difficulties, you can look at the opposite side and know which way everything goes. So before removing anything, we want to make sure that the shoes and any parts that we've got are correct. So always line them up one to another. Same on that side, which I have done, and everything is fine. So I'm going to get into the removal of it first. What I do is I only remove one side at a time. So I'll be taking this retaining clip off first. So I'll get myself some pliers, and then you can keep the pressure in like that, which releases it from the pin, and then you will press away. So you can use like that, or a thin nose pliers, anything that can grip the edge of it enough where it pushes it in. And that's removed. So when you have one side and keeping the other secure, that means you can lever one to another. And what I mean by that is, when that stays tight, you can just rock that over, which makes this spring here much easier to remove. I can just pull back on that, and then that's out. So I'm just going to remove the pin at the back, and that's the pin. So the next thing I'm going to do is let me just get that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lubricate this and completely wind that back. That can be done before or after removal of the pin, it doesn't matter, but I'm just going to wind that back now in all the way to allow as easy removal of this spring as possible. So I wound the adjuster in all the way, as you can see there, and this is the retaining clip that keeps it from moving. So you just want to lift that. If listen, they're all different, but on this particular Ford Fiesta, if you wanted to lift that tab up to move these teeth here to wind it in. Now if that jams on you, you can release the pin on this side here, which will collapse the shoes in together, and you will still be able to remove that. Then if you needed to heat or free out in the vise or anything, you could work on that independently. Whereas now all I have to do is remove this top spring and the actual handbrake cable there, and I have the shoes removed. To remove the handbrake cable, you just pull back the spring, twist, and come out. So you pull back the spring and hold it. I'm using the side cutters gently just to pull back and keep it clamped, and then that's removed. So with the shoes removed, the next thing is the removal of the wheel cylinder. So I have here as a pipe spanner, and if I just go up the back, I can show you that's an 11 mil that fits on that. There is two 10 mils that go, one there and one on the opposite side. They all need to be removed. I always lubricate the inside of the pipe there in case this jams, and so it's always best to rock back and over. If that nut becomes locked against this pipe, it can actually damage it, warp it, and I clamp the brake hose on this side. So I'm going to remove that now. These are very straightforward to do. Just compare the new one to the used one, and I'll fit that in, and then it's back on with the shoes. So I've got the new wheel cylinder here. I'm just going to fit that back in, connect up the two 10 mil bolts, the brake pipe, and have that sitting in before these shoes get fitted. Of the wheel cylinder now fitted back in, everything tightened up with that. I have the clamp removed from the brake hose, and then what I do is I fit the handbrake cable back on first of all, and then on this particular model I re-secure it on the left hand side, and I fit around that. So it's basically just the reverse order of how you stripped it afterwards. Again, remember to take a picture, or do not strip the other side as you are rebuilding this, because you want to have a clear picture of the fit back on this. Another tip would be, if you have one of these magnetic trays, or just to leave it flat on the ground, so you know the spring, this is the left side, right side, and that's the top. Again, this is the clip, and that is facing in on the left side. So I lay everything out as I take it out, which makes it much easier for fit back. Okay, so what I do here is I secure the left hand side and fit the spring back in, the adjuster back in, and then the lower spring also back in. But I will be fitting the lower spring in a second. First I will put this. See, when you have all that movement, it makes it a lot easier to slide it up into the top position here. So you can put that in. Spring, like I said, is already in there, and then the lower section when you're using your pliers or whatever to pull it back, make sure you don't catch any of the lining when you're doing it. Okay, so that's in position now, and when you do it in that type of way, when you're using one to lever against the other, it makes it a lot easier to fit the shoes back into position, and makes things much simpler. We now have the shoes seated back in position, and the next stage to this is shave that lip off the drum that I showed you earlier. When we do that, we will slide it back on, and it's all about adjusting these shoes out using this area here. So we will be adjusting the shoes to a required friction, so that it basically can turn nice and freely, but it doesn't be getting stuck. That way it allows for a good bedding in period over the next 200 miles. You can recheck it after that, but for the bedding in process, you want to have a good friction on that. That will give you a good brake and a good handbrake as well. So when it comes to taking the lip off, you always want to just concentrate on the edge. So when I'm using the die grinder, I just angle it away, take off that edge, and the surface area that the shoe runs on stays nice and clean. So what I then do is I clean up all this area here and make sure that there's a good friction between the two surfaces. And as you can see there, it just takes the lip off and doesn't interfere with the actual surface area. The last thing now is to adjust it. And it's this little item here that we are rotating down. There is a clip, as I showed earlier, which is underneath here. When you want to wind it back, should you over adjust it, you lift that up and rotate upwards. So it's a case of just rotating that down. As soon as the tolerance is where you want it, you have the adjustment you need. So this is the point where I'm adjusting it. You might have to take the drum on and off several times, but that's fine as long as you get the correct adjustment at the end. So I just rotate this down. Just keep rotating. And this is something that you get a feel for over time, but it's where the friction is just starting to catch, but it still rotates freely. So there you go. I'm very happy with that adjustment now. That is a good starting point. I will readjust them after maybe 200 miles or so, and well, I'll definitely recheck them. If they needed adjustment afterwards, I'll readjust them. If not, that is good to go. So the only thing that's left to do is put the nut back on, and this side is now complete. I really hope you found this video useful, guys. If you did, please like, share, comment and subscribe. I would very much appreciate if you give this video a like. It does help a lot in regards to how many other people can see this video as well. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.